Jeanette, are you in favor of a value-added federal tax?
Absolutely not. I don't think we need more taxes. I think we need less taxes, less regulation, and less government. And that's exactly what the problem is with our economy right now. The government's not going to create jobs. The government needs to get out of the way so small businesses that create 80% of all new jobs can create those jobs. We need to have the fair tax. The fair tax is going to divide the tax burden so that everyone pays taxes, not just law-abiding citizens like you and I. It's going to be a consumption-based tax so that those that get paid under the table, illegal immigrants, and those who break the law are all paying for government services. Right now, 47% of the economy does not pay taxes. It's unsustainable to believe that those of us who are producing income and goods and services, that we can sustain the entire governmental services, particularly at the rate that it is. We certainly don't need the federal government right now, which is spending money hands over fist, passing on generational theft to our children and our grandchildren, telling them they need to pay with tomorrow's dollars for today's lack of leadership. We don't need to be adding more taxes. We need to be cutting those taxes. We need to be cutting government spending. We need to be getting things like cap and trade off the table, repealing that unconstitutional health care, which is going to take over 1/6 of the economy, and reducing the tax burdens on the American citizens so that the small businesses, which are the economic engine of our economy, can grow and add jobs in this economy.
Right. Railroads are currently exempted from following the antitrust laws. Are you in favor of eliminating that exemption?
Well, I think I'm not real familiar with the subject, but as far as trust laws, I think every corporation, whatever laws that are, as long as they favorable to everybody, that things should be regulated. And but other than that, I do not know much about that information.
Dave, are you for or against using of earmarks to funnel money back to the 18th district?
Well, we'll probably be very successful in helping Zach Space get elected because I saw there's a whole bunch of earmarks that are certainly heading this way. Just to piggyback on something, one of the monopolies I would like to see broken up is the government monopoly. Government now they've taken over General Motors. How about breaking up the monopoly of the public school system and allowing the citizens of New Philadelphia to be determined what they're going to teach their own children? Folks, I hate to sound like a broken record, but I think that if we don't begin to take personal responsibility for our own communities and demand that our government become accountable to our local citizenry, we're not going to get anywhere. I don't know Zach Space. He may be a very decent guy. I don't know him. But I do know this, that when we tried to get a hold of him last summer, when I slept outside his office, he wouldn't come out and play. He would not come out and talk to us. I'm sure there are many of you in this room who probably tried to talk to him. Weren't able to get a hold of him. And that we reached a point in Washington, D.C. where that government monopoly puts them in a different position than where you, their boss, by the way, they occupy a higher spot than you. We hear Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid and people talk about how, well, they're not really interested, that we're not smart enough to figure out what we really need on our own. That thank goodness we have those intelligent elected officials to be able to tell us all what we really, really need. So I think we're going to watch Zach Space during the next few months. All that stimulus money, folks, is coming home to roost. It's all coming back to the district. And Zach Space will say what a great congressman he's been. Look at the pork he's brought home. God help us if he's able to buy votes by doing that kind of thing. Any one of these people up here in front would be a better representative than Zach Space.
CREV, which is Clean Renewable Energy Bonds. That program provides funding for clean renewable energy projects.
I probably would oppose that because I don't believe the federal government should be involved in our energy. This is part of the problem. The federal government has been controlling our energy. They tell us when we can drill, what we can't drill. We have not been allowed to build a new refinery in the United States since 1978. Today we only get about 70% production out of a barrel of oil, while all the countries in Europe are getting 90%. Because we are not allowed to build a new refinery. That does not make sense. Let's get the federal government out of the way. If we get the federal government out of the way and let the companies decide to build nuclear power plants, let companies dig for coal, let companies, if they want to go wind or solar, invest in that. You know what? My dad lives in California. I know a few years ago, you remember all the rolling blackouts in California? This is the great solution that California come up with for their lack of electricity. They let Mexico build a bunch of electric plants on the coast, right on the border, and pipe in electricity into California. That's because of our government control. If we keep sending the same type of people back to Washington, we're going to get the same results. This is not just a one-time thing. It's not just this administration that's been doing this. We keep sending a bunch of lawyers up there, a bunch of career politicians, and we keep getting the same ideas and the same situations that when they get down to us at the ground level, they really hurt us. We need somebody that understands us here at the ground floor and can go to Washington and make common sense. The House of Representatives is supposed to be grounded to the people. It should have people from all walks of life. That way the federal government has some common sense and is grounded and rooted to the people, and today that is not what we have.
Fred, would you support public power communities by providing federal assistance for publicly owned high-speed broadband services to businesses, industries, and residents of their communities?
This is an issue that Zach Space has talked about a lot. I work very closely with USDA. George Bush offered me an undersecretary position at the USDA. The Rural Development Service of USDA funds projects such as this. They started out with the Rural Electrification Association, and now they're into broadband, making sure that we have that. I think this is a good program. And when we talk about economic development, I don't want to leave southeastern Ohio out. It's difficult to have broadband communications because of the terrain, but it's something that I think is very important. It's especially important if you have some kind of home business or small business that you have access to broadband. So I would support that, just as we've supported in the past electrification of rural Ohio. I support the same thing for broadband.